2025, the Lions triumphed in the series over Australia, Bordeaux won their first Champions Cup, and Matthew Jalibert did this. But in amongst the Lions and the Lukus, this was a year in which some rugby was played by some people. And in order to celebrate the best of that rugby, it's time for this, the Squid Rugby Team of the Year. But first, it's probably time we stopped off and gave a quick shout out to our referee of the year. Holly Davison is bubbling in second place after a great year, but the man in the middle for 2025 has to be the Georgian Nika Amisha-Kelly. Amisha-Kelly was always a very good, consistent ref, but 2025 has felt like his year. Becoming the first referee from a Tier 2 nation to be awarded the Champions Cup final was huge, as was his continued presence in all the major international tournaments, the Six Nations in particular. But Nika has quickly become the inexplicably super jacked king of clarity in a Wayne Barnes of old kinda way. Every call is obvious, signposted, and generally those that make for a better game. Last year we gave this to Ben O'Keefe for the way he communicates with players consistently, creating a better, more free-flowing game, but whilst Amisha-Kelly does communicate well, really, he's just an absolute brick wall for players, and his refereeing is too. He has a clear philosophy. If you go against the spirit of the game I want to create, you will be penalised. If you play within it, you can occasionally bend the rules a little, just a tiny little bit, after school. We always hear about empathy for players, but like O'Keefe, Amisha-Kelly also has a real empathy for audiences without needing to go full Nigel, and that's a huge part of why he's our referee of the year 2025. Well, anyway, back to the rugby players that play rugby. Today, we shift back behind the scrum once more. It's time for the centrepiece, the midfielders, the centre of attention. It's time for the best inside and outside centres of 2025. The centre's job is sometimes quite hard to pin down. The core role is to be an all-rounder, a jack of all trades. And yet, in 2025, the Red Roses' Meg Jones managed to be the master of all. A one-time fly half come floaty distributing centre kind of combo thing, and formerly a 7 specialist, Jones has adapted her game to basically become the perfect modern 13. A natural try-scorer and brilliant finisher, but also good at distributing, linking up, throwing those assists, and challenging defenders herself in those wider channels. She very much became the person who brought the Red Roses' World Cup winning attack together. Yet defensively, she's also as solid and sound as anybody. Her breakdown work is quietly excellent both sides of the ball, winning a phenomenal 5 turnovers in 5 games over the World Cup. Unbelievable stats for a centre, and a kicking game became an increasing weapon for England as the tournament went on as well, allowing them to shut oppositions down. Meg Jones in 2025 was simply undeniable. A player so good, John Mitchell only gave the retiring Emily Scarrett, maybe her nation's greatest ever player, maybe the women's game's greatest ever player, a handful of minutes off the bench to say goodbye in a home World Cup. Jones's form was such that she was undroppable, and was the tournament going, unbeatable. And this year, undeniable in being the best 13 on the planet. Sometimes you just can't beat a touch of class. Is there a centre out there in the world in any form of rugby who reads the game as well as Alex Tessier? There are very few players with the raw vision and instincts of the Canada captain, a player who has been knocking on the door on the verge of this team for some years in past, yet it finally felt like the moment. It's the way she glides onto the ball, the way she gets it then in and out of her hands, the way she effortlessly assesses when and whether to go herself. There's something in Tessier's body language. You can almost see all the options she's weighing up. Is that long kick on? Do I try the chip? Is that short ball the best option? It's the opposite of a Dan Carter or Gavin Henson type figure who doesn't look like they're thinking, they just glide around the field. Tessier, you can see the thought, and it makes them almost more unreadable. And consistently, she takes choices you didn't even dream, and they almost always come off. Normally, watching the game from the stand or the screen with full view of the field, a viewer will have a better angle on the game than the player with the ball in their hands and defence in their face. Yet I find watching Alex Tessier consistently every single time I watch her play, she virtually always produces a better option than the 4 or 5 I could pull out that I think will work from any given freeze frame of the situation. She is just purely one of the best raw rugby players on the planet, and possibly the smartest playing right now. And in 2025, this was the best year of her career to date. She was one of the players of the Pac 4, exceptional for Exeter, recent player of the match performance against Quins lodged in the memory. And then we have the main meal, the 2025 Rugby World Cup, where Tessier led her nation with a kind of calm intelligence that came to typify the team. If it wasn't for one certain freak, I'm sure will pop up in this team later, she may have been, pound for pound, the best player of the tournament for me. All game management, intelligent kicking. Coach Kevin Rouet almost consistently keeping in the 12 jersey, yet deploying her in the 10, 12 and 15 roles throughout individual games to get their smartest player, hell, maybe the smartest player in Test rugby right now, involved as often as possible. Canada may have fallen just short, but Tessier was nailed into the team without word or question. A brilliant player, delivering the best year of her career when it mattered the most. Blimey, Charlie, do I have some mentions that I want to honour? Some honourable mentions. Let's do them real quick. Last year's combo of Tomasso Menoncello and Santiago Chocobares were both worthy of mentions again, as was fellow breakthrough Puma Justino Picardo and borderline inclusion in 2024 Sione Tupolotto, who returned from an injury mid-year and got back to his best pretty much instantaneously. Len Ikitau likely stumbles into an all-male team this year after some brilliant form for the Wallabies, and Joseph Akuso Soali would also have really pushed for it, as would fellow Aussie Celia Smith, who had a brilliant World Cup, and Georgia G. Fred Fredericks was exceptional as ever for the Wallaroos. Fijian pair Calavetti Ravovo and Joshua Tuisova were both as difficult to stop as ever, and female counterpart Josephine Naihamu was one of the breakthrough players of 2025. Absolutely loved watching her at the World Cup. There's a very good chance an all-male team would have included Springbok Andre Esterhazen, if not for his exploits in the back row, whilst Damien De Lande and Jesse Creel both kept to their world-class standards. What more can you possibly say? There were other endless Kiwis to consider. Geordie Barrett, Quintu Paya had excellent years in the black jersey, yet that depth just pales in comparison to the Ferns. Stacey Wacker, Sylvia Brunt, Teresa Setefano. If any one of those wasn't taking minutes from the other, they all possibly could have got in. Tatiana Hurd, also fantastic, really, really good. Hugh Jones back to his best, great on a Lions tour. Gary Ringrose likewise quietly class as always. Alona Mar overcame everything to have a brilliant World Cup, as did Scotland's Emma Orr, who's always great, and France's Gabrielle Vernier. Fraser Dingwall really nailed down an England place, but really deserves a nod for how he led Northampton. Juan Ignacio Brex was brilliant. And then three names who may be less household, but fit the bill for this team so perfectly. People who truly shone in teams punching above their weight. Springbok Afiwe Ngwevu, unstoppable. Japan's Haruka Hirotsu, a real touch of class. And Zimbabwe's Brandon Mudikanyedze, a powerhouse I'm so excited to see at the 27 World Cup. Thanks for watching that. I hope you enjoyed it. We're continuing on. There's going to be another of these tomorrow. There are two more already out for you. If you want to go and have a look at the front row of the year, please do so. If you want to have a look at the halfbacks of the year, please do so. The team is building its way out.
And if you think the team is woke because we've got two women in the centres, please look back over the honourable mentions. We talk about who it would have been in an all-men's team. Yeah. We've been trying to do that for as many of these, all of these really.
Pretty much all of these.
So you can pretty much decipher a full men's team, a full women's team, and our team, really.
Yes. So tomorrow, please come back. The second row will be picked over, looked at, sneezed on, potentially. We'll do all sorts around the second row. That will be tomorrow. I wonder who it could possibly be. If you have any ideas, then you've got a choice. You can leave a comment if you like, or you can just keep it to yourself. Rugby.
Analysed her. The ginger girl, obviously in a nice way.
The ginger girl
with the lovely hair.